What's going on YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. Now when it comes to being an NBA coach in today's league, that title does not fall under the category of careers with a ton of job security, especially when you have superstars on your team. Already this season, we've seen head coach Adrian Griffin get fired after leading the Milwaukee Bucks to an outstanding 30-13 record. And most recently, head coach Jacques Vaughn of the Brooklyn Nets just lost his job just a year after signing a contract extension with the team. That's the reality of today's NBA. It's always about the here and now when it comes to head coaching jobs. And if the team isn't performing the way management wants, or if something like in Vaughn's case, a 50-point loss right before All-Star break happens, they are ready to get you out of there quick, fast, and in a hurry. Now there's only a small number of coaches in the league who have true job security. Guys like Greg Popovich, Eric Spoelstra, and Steve Kerr. But everyone else must keep proving their worth, regardless of what major or minor success they've had with their respective teams. And with the league resuming action after the All-Star break and the Nets parting ways with Vaughn, marking the third coaching change of the season, it's an opportune moment to predict which 5 coaches might face the heat next as we head into the pivotal stage of the season. Now, by no means am I advocating for these firings, but more like speculating based on what I've seen this season so far. And for our first coach, we have Chauncey Billups. The Portland Trail Blazers have shown sporadic competitiveness beyond initial expectations this season. Yet, Chauncey Billups seems headed for his third consecutive sub-500 season. His career win rate stands at a dismal .344. While this can be attributed to a roster not optimized for contention and numerous significant injuries, Billups' coaching record in games featuring Damian Lillard, an all-star, is a mere 39-48. Ordinarily, it's unfair to solely blame a head coach for the struggles of young players. Front offices hold responsibility as the ultimate decision makers regarding draft picks and acquisitions, along with hiring player development staff. However, Billups is tasked with overseeing this development, and Shaedon Sharpe is enduring his second consecutive season with a well below average box plus minus, indicating a player's contribution to the team when on the court. Scoot Henderson's box plus minus of minus 6.3 ranks 937th among 944 three-point era rookie campaigns with at least 1,000 minutes played. While Sharpe's return from injury before season's end remains uncertain, if Henderson fails to exhibit consistent, meaningful improvement, speculation about Billups' job security may intensify. At number 2, we have Jason Kidd. When Luka Doncic is part of your team, implementing an extensive offensive strategy might not be necessary. Often simply giving him the ball and allowing him to isolate or run pick and rolls leads to a lot of scoring opportunities. However, Luka's involvement with the Slovenian national team has demonstrated his willingness to contribute more off the ball when appropriately motivated or coached. Additionally, the Dallas Mavericks boast another offensive powerhouse in Kyrie Irving, who could enable more diverse offensive actions. Yet, the Mavericks face a significant challenge with their below-average defensive rating for the second consecutive season. While an often uninspired attack could ideally be compensated for a better defense, Dallas lacks this advantage. Undoubtedly, like the situation with Billups, much of this dilemma stems from the roster provided to Coach Kidd by the organization. Nonetheless, recent acquisitions like Daniel Gifford and PJ Washington could propel the team in a positive direction. But Luka ranks among the top 4 or 5 basketball players globally. Despite this, there remains a possibility that the Mavericks might miss the playoffs for a second consecutive season. Should this outcome materialize, criticism will likely come, with much of it directed towards Jason Kidd. At number 3, we have Steve Clifford. Steve Clifford's return to the Charlotte Hornets seemed to signal a win-now mentality. Historically, he's never been renowned as a specialist in player development. During the mid-2010s, Clifford managed to extract more from the Al Jefferson and Kemba Walker-led Charlotte teams than expected. However, in his second tenure with the team, he hasn't made significant strides in that regard. Despite being a defensive-minded coach, He currently presides over the second worst defense in NBA history, with only this season's Atlanta Hawks performing worse. While it's fair to acknowledge that scoring across the league has reached unprecedented levels, the numbers speak for themselves. Charlotte is conceding an alarming 121 points per possessions. This defensive performance is dismal. If the Hornets are destined for such mediocrity, it might be vital to consider a coach with a stronger reputation for player development. At number 4, we have Darvin Ham. Very few coaches this season have been under as much scrutiny regarding job security as Darvin Ham. While the speculation has somewhat eased during the Los Angeles Lakers' current 8-3 stretch, this organization and fan base is accustomed to championship contention. Currently sitting 9th in the Western Conference with the position in the wrong half of the play-in tournament, the Lakers face challenging odds. According to Basketball Reference's playoff probabilities report, which is based on 10,000 simulations of the remainder of the season, including the play-in round, the Lakers have just a 32.7% chance of making the playoffs. Should they falter in the play-in round, where they are currently projected to face the Golden State Warriors in the first game, criticisms of Ham's coaching decisions are likely to resurface. Whether it's his heavy reliance on Taurean Prince, puzzling lineup choices, ranking 30th in three-point attempts per game, or an offense that tends to stagnate without D'Angelo Russell's scoring prowess, there are numerous factors contributing to potential discontent. And lastly, at number 5, we have Monty Williams. The Detroit Pistons made headlines last summer with the signing of Monty Williams to an astonishing contract. In the first year of his 6-year, $78.5 million deal, the Pistons face a daunting financial commitment. This substantial investment makes the prospect of firing Williams seem less plausible. It will be a tough pill for any owner to swallow, paying such a hefty sum for someone to remain inactive. However, despite this financial consideration, the Pistons are currently on pace for the worst single-season winning percentages in NBA history. Even after a modest 5-7 stretch in January and February, the prolonged period of losses naturally prompts fans and analysts to question Williams' tenure, compounded by other concerns. Cade Cunningham's development appears to have hit a plateau, evidenced by a decline in his box plus minus compared to last season. Additionally, decisions such as the reluctance to grant Jaden Ivey a more prominent role and the persistence in starting Killian Hayes, who has since been released, raise eyebrows. With the possibility of another historic losing streak looming, considering they endured a 28-game losing streak earlier in the season, Detroit may contemplate cutting ties with Williams prematurely, foregoing the entirety of a 6-year contract. But let me know what you think in the comment section. Are my predictions off, or am I onto something? You let me know. As always, I appreciate the support, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.